Election day is here. Gubernatorial candidates Mike DeWine and Nan Whaley are out in central Ohio making their last efforts to secure your vote. We also caught up with Ohio Lieutenant Governor Jon Husted. He told us he had to wait about an hour in line before getting to vote. So you see that there. I'm Tracy Townsend. Thanks so much for joining us for 10 TV News at noon on this election day. We're glad you're here. Ohioans lined up at the Dodge Community Center this morning, only to discover that they were not able to vote. Officials tell us the precinct captain forgot to bring the keys used to unlock the voting machines. Well, that led to a 30-minute delay in that polling location opening. We're told some voters left, but the Dodge Community Center polls are back up. They are running. So if you need to return or you know somebody who needs to return so they can vote, make sure you let them know. 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald takes us to another Columbus polling location where voters showed up to make their voice heard.
Voters began filing in within seconds of the polls opening up. Overall, many say it was a quick experience.
You know, it went great. I was surprised to see as many people here at 6:30 when the polls opened. It's really remarkable. It says a lot about how important this is.
Everybody thinks that their votes really count now. Used to be, oh, I'm just one, doesn't really matter. But now, I agree with you. There's lots of young people here voting and early.
Many voters who showed up first thing this morning say they're paying close attention to the Senate race here in Ohio, along with a few local school levies on the ballot.
We live in Upper Arlington, and there's an important issue, a school issue, so we want to make sure we voted for that too. We just really like the school district and what it represents and what it does.
I think it's critical, and you know, it's funny, midterms aren't typically this big. But I think it says a lot about just how important this is.
The polls in Ohio close at 7:30 tonight. If you don't know where you're supposed to vote, you can go to 10tv.com and find out. In Columbus, Amy Steigerwald, 10 TV News.
And right now, all eyes are on Ohio's race for a U.S. Senate seat. Before voting this morning, Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan talked with reporters. Here's what he had to say.
So there's a lot of relief, and it's up to the voters now, and I mean, that's the process here. And I think a lot of the conversation that we've had over the last couple of years is like, you got to trust the voters. You know, if you win, you win. If you lose, you concede, and you move on. But I feel really good.
And last night, Republican J.D. Vance was joined by former President Donald Trump on the campaign trail in Dayton. Vance talked about it when voting this morning.
I think the rally did help us. I mean, the big thing we hope to get out of it is just to boost turnout. I mean, I think we're in a position where we'll win this race so long as people get out there and vote.
Now, in the governor's race, candidates making their final push. Yesterday, Democratic candidate Nan Whaley made some stops here in central Ohio. Her opponent, the incumbent Governor Mike DeWine, made an appearance at the Trump rally following a number of stops across the state. If you need a ride to get to your voting location today, there are two options that bring with them discounts. COTA, in fact, has free rides today. COTA leadership says they really want to help improve voter access. Lyft is offering 50% off on all rides. All you have to do is use the promo code VOTE22 to redeem the discount. Before you head to the polls today, don't forget your ID. We're talking about a driver's license or a state ID. Those are the forms that are accepted here in Ohio. A military ID, a utility bill, bank statement, or a paycheck will also allow you to vote. Here's what you cannot use. These do not work at your polling place. Photo ID issued outside of this state. Social security cards, passports, birth certificates, and insurance cards are not accepted. We are joining up with the League of Women Voters to make sure all of your voting questions get answered. So we have this live look for you at the phone bank. If you have any questions, please call them 614-212-6949. These volunteers are experts. They will be here to take your calls until 6:30 this evening.